Hey guys, Tom Barclay here. I'm at Bodo Stadium. I thought I'd do a quick video given I'm right next to this plastic pitch we've heard so much about going into this game, the second leg. The pitch where the likes of Lazio, FC Twente, Porto, Olympiacos and more, all these big names in Europe have come across this season up in the Arctic Circle at Bodo. It looks pretty much similar to your average sort of 4G pitch that you might play at home in your power league. You can see behind me right now the Bodo players are training. This ground, I mean, I used to cover a lot of the EFL, the Championship, League 1, League 2, and it really does remind me of some of those sort of League 1 to League 2 grounds. It is small. You can see over there, a bit like Luton, you can imagine you got the netting behind that, a stand where presumably numerous balls go over the top when you get those wayward shots that would otherwise go into row Z. In normal grounds back in England, but as we know from all that list of heavyweights in Europe who've gone out here and lost at Bodo, including Celtic, Ange Postecoglou Celtic a few years ago in the Europa Conference League, nothing can be taken lightly. The pitch obviously is synthetic because of the conditions generally up here, where you often see it snow quite regularly. I was kind of half expecting that, but to be honest, right now, I mean, it's not warm. It's probably about 4 or 5 degrees. It is raining, as you might be able to tell, but it's light rain. The wind isn't particularly bitter or brutal. In fact, if anything, back in England right now, at least when I left, there'd been probably an icier wind than there is here. And to be honest, if it stays like this, these are ideal conditions for playing football on. The pitch apparently the ball moves very quickly, quicker than a normal pitch. That's something that Spurs are going to have to deal with. And it is interesting that Ange Postecoglou has decided not to train, or at least he said he wouldn't be training on the synthetic pitch they have back at the training ground, which is just behind the academy entrance at the training ground. If anyone's ever been there, that's basically where all the press conferences happen. But decided not to do that. Obviously, their only experience so far this season of playing on a plastic pitch came at Tamworth, which didn't go particularly well. Yes, they won, but they required an extra time to get through against the non-league side Tamworth, and were given a pretty hairy ride there. So let's hope they sort of fare a bit better here. They've obviously got a 2-goal advantage from the first leg, which I thought was a very good win. It wasn't a great win because of that late goal, which added jeopardy in. And the manager, which you might be able to hear from here, Kjetil Knutsen, he was given it sort of not the big one, so to speak, but he was saying how much that late goal could really, really be transformative in the tie, how they would get a lot of energy, the team, from that late goal, and he could talk about how the energy sort of was sapped out of the Spurs players when that goal went in. Perhaps it's sort of mind games, trying to G his team up ahead of this massive second leg in what is obviously a European semi-final with a chance of going through to a major European final. Or maybe he genuinely believes that, I don't know, but it's something that Spurs are going to have to handle, the pressure of coming here with the conditions that they're probably not used to, and a sort of tight little compact ground, which is actually very open. Apparently can be one of the coldest grounds in Europe because of how open it is and the way the wind whips around it. But unless the wind dramatically picks up between now and the game, and obviously that could happen, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as brutal and hostile as you might expect. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Bodo have got a couple of players back which were suspended in the first leg. Their captain Patrick Berg is back from suspension. We're waiting to see if Odin Bjortuft, who's a centre-back, a key player for them, who was injured for the first leg. I think he was on the bench, but I'm not sure he came on. Let's see if he's fit for this leg. That will be a big sort of plus for their point of view. But yeah, this is about 11 o'clock in the morning, which is an hour ahead in Norway compared to the UK, for open training for Bodo. And then we've got Spurs training much later tonight. The team will be flying later on, and the press conference with Ange Postecoglou and Guilherme Vicario, and afterwards I'll do a video. But I thought I'd do a quick one here just because the plastic pitch, there's been so much talk about it, and this stadium going into this game and being, perhaps the biggest obstacle that Spurs face from getting to that first major European final since they won it back in 1984, this competition. But yeah, anyway, speak to you later. Cheers guys.